Hi, and welcome to the Blender Render Rules, the show where you submit your artwork, we review it, and give you feedback to improve. I'm Daerik, I'm gonna be today's host. So, to get started, we got this nurse from Max, and he really wanted some feedback on the anatomy. It's a really hard topic, I myself am not an expert, but we'll do what we can. So, the proportions don't seem incorrect so far. Yeah, that sounds okay. Okay, thank you. I'll keep an eye out if it ever like the music too loud and my voice too low or something. Do let me know. Thank you. So as I was saying, the proportions don't seem incorrect. Maybe her arms are too long, judging by her. Wait. When I'm setting up my pose is a little below my waist, and his is on the waist level when the arm is bent. So the arms might be a little too long, I can't really judge from this perspective. Her hair doesn't have any hair after the ear, and it's weird. I think you should have something here. Unless it's one of those punk hairstyles where you shave off the side. Google the animation says the body looks a little too long. Yeah. Now the clothing, it's like all made out of cloth and it's all come together. It's strange. It doesn't look like it's fitting her body. It doesn't look like there's any gravity. It's just there. Her shoulders are too far apart from her torso. Oh, her torso. Her upper body. So maybe bring those inside. Whenever I make a human character, I always have some kind of template for the body. It can be a rigged, very basic mesh, or a anatomically correct model that isn't rigged, and I try and use many parts as I can and mold it to keep the proportions correct. Weird lump on the clothing, the area between the armpit and the end of the shirt. Yeah, this one. Still better than what I can do, yeah. Definitely. Her mouth looks really, really tiny. So if you look at my face, the lips straight down the middle of the eye, so it should be something like this. Mouth. Nose as well. Mine's bigger, maybe because I'm a male. I don't know the proportions for the female body that well. The eyes seem okay. I would have preferred a finer resolution for the image. This way I can zoom in and details, but that's fine. Her hands, it's all weirdly rigged. Like this one, the rest position, so there. This one's like can't really do that pose really well. Especially the thumb here. Doesn't look incorrect, it's just kind of strange. Maybe a more relaxed pose with the syringe, something more like. And what else? Shoes are a little too big on the back here. I forget the name. The heel? It's the heel. And the whatever this is called is too blocky. I I think it's usually made out of metal, that part. It's super thin because it's so resistant. It doesn't have to be very thin. So to recap, the hair seems a little too short, like it should have something after here. The mouth is too small. Should be kind of the ends should be kind of aligned with the eyes. The pose for the hand holding the syringe it's very complicated. Try making a simpler pose. Clothing is all lumped up. You try using some cloth simulation to give it gravity, just gravity. You don't need to together, although I do prefer that method. And there's also this weird light here. It's like you put a point light over here, and that's making this very strange and causing this shadow here. Try looking up some light setups like the 3-point light system, where you have a main light, secondary light, and a tertiary light, something like that. The Blender Guru guy has a video on that. Center of the eye, not the tip for facial proportions by Kermit. Mouth width goes to the end of both the center of both eyes. Nose's width as wide as the start of the end of the eye. Oh, sorry. As wide as the start of the eye. So I believe his nose should be something like this. If this was looking straight up, have angle turn the camera. And so yeah, thank you Max for your submission. Moving along, we have this guy, the Space Bun by Peach. So very detailed render. I really like the whole vibe of the scene, and you put an actual universe background. Most people seem to forget stars and constellations behind any planet rendering, so good job on that. The banner, the flag here, really good. I believe it is original, so good job making the graphic design. The flag is straight, but that's actually correct. In space, you don't have air pressure, so and you don't have gravity, so the flag doesn't really drop. I remember seeing a documentary on the pictures taken by NASA on this space mission. So good job doing that. Emergency character, okay, carrot. I don't know if this is a character or a robot, but it's kind of cute. Especially the pose with the 2 fingers. It has 4 fingers. Very cartoonish, nice. The planet looks like it is made out of or something. It's not a problem, just what's coming up to my mind. It does look good. Yeah, well, like, this is really great, I must say. What could you improve, though? I'm not sure about the character on the carrot on the center of the chest here. I don't know the purpose. I would not take that as a power sour. I wouldn't believe that's powering suit. Maybe a little more baffling over here on the ears. Like, just really not much. Just really good. Maybe the character is a few source. The robot bunny. But anyway, really good job. If this is on ArtStation, give me the link and I'll give you a like for sure. So yeah, thank you Peach for your submission. One by Mr. Mikado. Remade old E&D robot model. The two new ones with the old. Hope to hear thoughts or issues that you find. So the two new ones must be the one back. Let's see, it's a light and dark one. Both have bow ties. Maybe this is a female robot, judging by the tuxedo thing. Purple one. The arms are flexed, but they don't have anything here to flex. Although the whole body looks like it's made out of plastic or something. So if it is something rigid, like plastic, try making any parts that bend have some kind of mechanism or just a separation. This way, not only is it gonna make more sense, but when you actually pose the character, that section is gonna have more geometry and it's gonna bend better. Right now, when you are bending the knees, it is like shrinking volume of your leg. So that's not good. So certainly an improvement on the ties here. This one's more detailed, although more solid. I don't like the lines here. On this character, the lines are a separation, like you could open her face and look at the brain or something. While on the two new ones, it's like part of the design. This texture is painted over. The eyes are okay. It's a style choice, same as the mouth and the nose. The ears have the same problem I mentioned on the arms. Unless you really just want to move this part over here. So you could have like mechanical thingy moving that. And this is kind of solid. Arm is clipping into the torso area a bit. I think you mean this one. Yeah, that definitely is. Watch out for. There might be some clipping here, but you can barely notice. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. So to recap, try making joints. Try making clear where there are joints on the body. Bend more easily and make sense for character. Maybe go back on the physical separations for the head at least. It seems to make more sense than having area painted over. And watch out for clipping when you're posing your character. And take a close look on each part, or just ask a friend. So yeah, thank you Guacado for your submission. Next one is from Temi. He made a little joke about. So we have this sphere, looks like it's made out of metal, and there are ripples on the water. Has another angle here, and this one has some kind of light source. So my first complaint here is that it is too dark. I think you could make the water bluer, have an HDRI reflecting on it, HDRI of a flow burst or just some nature in general. would improve the render quite a bit. As for the quality of the ripples, what did you do here? Something to do, maybe several gradient spheres come together, or the wood texture, some kind of noise. It is very strange to have noisy ripples like that. We go on the internet and try and look up. This is for a reference for later on, later on. So, it's all very clean, very smooth. You don't have all that rigid lines. Some of these are made up. But most must be real, like this one for sure. And also the proximity of your ripples seem to it's like you touch the water several times to make this many ripples. Super fast, but with minimal movement. You have the same distance between each ripple. Usually you have like they are closer together and they keep getting further apart. Like on this image. Or is it the contrary? They are further apart on the beginning and then they get closer. Get closer and shorter in height. Start this the water. Or you could just make the distance kind of random side. I think that's basically the only thing to review here. Like the sphere isn't doing anything for the scene. Maybe if you made a completely reflective sphere or one made out of glass, you could see the HDRI I recommended and have a focal point to see. So to recap, make the ripples smoother and decide on distances between them. Don't just make everything uniform. Try adding an HDRI to have lighting nature around water and experiment with a more reflective sphere. So yeah, thank you Tammy for your submission. Next one is from Lab 000. So he didn't model anything on the scene. Took the car from an app, the Yoro mobile app. What he wants me to give feedback on is the color grading and the composition perspective. So how well the yellow car fits the background. And the thing I've already noticed here is that the shadow of the cars is going beyond the car wheel here. All yours is going kind of down this direction. It should all have the same angle, so your shadow should be going like this. The shadow of your car seems a little too straight, while this one is going a bit to the left of the car. So angle your light source a bit more to the right, so in that direction. As for the hardness of the shadow, it seems okay. Looks like you didn't add any glow to your scene. You do that in the composition after you render it. Because the light reflecting on the car window here is super bright. That is affecting the color of everything else around it. But yours is just a light, a white dot. So this should have some glow to it. If I look at the image from far apart, from far away, you would believe the car is actually there. There isn't much difference to the background. Those details could make a real difference for a client or something. Watch out for that. What else? Angle of the camera. I think that's the new. Alright. Yeah, the angle seems to be perfect. If there was an actual car next to a one, it looked like this. So yeah, I think that's what I have to say. So to recap, move your sun, rotate your sun just a little bit so your shadow goes a little bit to the right. And try and make the shadow of your mirror here go above the wheel, not below it. Just like this car. The sun is a directional light. If there isn't any shadows over here, it should all be the same. And last but not least, add glow, fog glow to the scene. Then it's gonna have the reflection of the sun be brighter and have that glow to it. Alright, I hope that helps. So thank you, Lab, for your submission. Next one is by Abysma. So I don't know the purpose of the scene. Maybe a promotional piece for the Cybershock game he seems to be making. You got your character here with a grenade on and an enemy that's right in front of him. So that grenade is kind of useless in this situation. Maybe have a pistol pointing at the guy. Pistol or a flashlight pointing at the guy. The enemy itself isn't very scary, mostly because of the weird leg thingies he has. More imposing, more scary, and guys aren't even that bright. I do like the fog you have here, the glow, good, that volumetric. So I'd say rethink the pose of your enemy. I would rethink the legs, but that's your choice. I don't like that. The whole enemy silhouette is very skinny, very skeleton. It isn't very scary. Brighter eyes and more better weapon. Like, those are missiles, right? If he launches one at him, then he explodes as well. So to recap, I mean, it was really short, so change the grenade to something that makes more sense from this distance, unless this guy is enormous and it's kind of far away. You even have a flamethrower here. You could be flaming the guy right now, and that would be a far more interesting render. You also submitted this artwork. So, this is interesting. We have some kind of metro system, futuristic one, station AA, a very simple map, and your character there. Okay. I like the vibes. I like the glow on the platform here. This must be this light source reflecting there. And you have two uses, or an interest and an activity. This is not making much sense to my brain here. Is this on the background here on this wall, and this is on the foreground, or is there an actual arrow out of the wall here? This doesn't make much sense to me here. I'll just remove the arrow here. Keep it on the scene, like it's right next to this wall here, and illuminating that part, but not popping out like that. I feel like the background one would be a little higher. If this was on the background, then it should definitely be thinner than the one over here. Like you would have that going in perspective, and there will be one back there. Yeah, it was on the background. It could be like the train's schedule. So maybe switch this column. This is obviously a texture, maybe a repeating texture. Try to make this more clearly some numbers, and it would make sense in my. Maybe even a digital clock somewhere. Help. So yeah. And there was another artwork. It's this girl. And we are deviating from the Cybershock game. Let's see. Use the curve techniques for hair, so it's all a bunch of curves with different profiles. I don't like what's happening over here. Like you're trying to avoid covering the forehead, but making this sleek hairstyle too. Side. You should have shorter curves, something like this, or maybe a big one goes like this, behind, short one, front, but not going down and then all the way to that side. They seem a little too rigid over here, like there's an edge to the hair, and unless she's a mutant that can cut stuff with her hair, then this should be rounder, or just not have a point. But this is a curve, so we must have a point somewhere. Maybe just not make them super thick in the back, or at least not the ones that show up as hair strands. Like you can have really large ones in back and lower layers, but the ones on top, they are very, very thin at detail. They make the style. The eye, it's very robotic, very cartoonish, I'd say. I have a little bit of a glow here. Maybe try and make it brighter. That. Otherwise, she looks dead. Maybe the one on the left doesn't need. The anatomy of the face seems okay. Size of everything. Her neck seems to have like the rigid lines here. Those two muscles or veins, I don't know what they are, seem to be rigid, and if she's relaxed, it would not show up. Yeah, just a little bit on, just a little below here. Could have those two, and then they mix in with the rest of the skin. Not this much strength, you see. I like the shirt, especially the fiber texture you have here. Strokes, neck, hairs. I don't know what that means, but that's what laser car is saying. Jet. So to recap, I recommend you doing 2 layers for the hair. One with really large strands that make the base and where it's mostly gonna be to cover any spaces in between, and a higher layer with very thin strands that make the hair styled. You can hang from over here, for example. That's what makes it look more like actual hair. Make a brighter glow for the eye. There's several things you can try and do. Just texture that in. Make a very small point light over here. It doesn't have to be super bright. Just white and be whatever you want. Watch out for the neck here. She seems to be relaxed, so the neck should be just normal, no rigid parts. And yeah, good job. Thank you, Abysma, for your 3 submissions. Next one is from Ekaterina Pavlova, and this is on ArtStation. Let's go over there because she breaks it a little more. So she made an Egyptian character for her art project lunar calendar. So this is Moon. She is an Egyptian goddess, keeper of time. And there's a little bit of lore there. So the hourglass is floating in her hand, and there isn't sand falling from the hourglass, so it's a little controversial. If she's the keeper of time, then it should always have sand top going down. Maybe this keeps spinning, but time isn't over, so makes any sense. You are also missing life-giving eye glows here. Very, very important. Dead. 5. Dead. 5. Dead. Mouth good, but the upper lip seems super thin. There's little reason for that. I know the lips are hard to do, so I don't know if that's something you wanna try and fix, but bigger lips. There's this weird ridge on her nose, like it just suddenly pops up, and the nose is triangle. If you look at a skull, there's space here on the nose, and this is the bridge. The actual bone occurs here, so this doesn't happen. Should have a smoother transition from the face to nose. The eyebrow is very cartoonish. That can fit because she's a goddess. She has a circlet on her head. It's fine. Hairstyle with the here. She also has whatever this is called, holding some parts of the hair. I'm not sure how you would do this, maybe using curves, but separating her hair palms. I'm not even sure if that adds much interest, so I'm gonna ignore that one. The hands are very good, yeah. Nicely rigged. But at least they are not bending in any strange way. So it is kind of relaxed. Now this hand, it is super like straight, and a normal hand it kind of curves over here. On the last Blender conference, there was a guy that did a whole talk about hands, and he mentioned the importance of that bone here on the under. So your hand, when it is relaxed, it's kind of curved. This, so you should curve your hand a little, so your pinky would be. See a little more of the hand. Same over here, but you don't really notice. Finger should be showing up. Clothing is okay, nothing major really. Is this just a cloth that's being held by the belt here, or is this an actual shirt where this should be sewed on? If it is an actual shirt, then the transition should be there and have that space in blank. But if it is just a piece of cloth, like a poncho, it's fine. A cloth material would look sick, says Laser. Yeah, I agree. The burlap texture, lining of the lines here. Yeah, major. Several lines. I like the necklace. Has some emeralds or whatever here. Having some in the front. A good idea. It's It's kind of weird how the texture here is bending. Yeah, I recommend you redo. Oh, those are all gems. Ah, we have brown gems and they keep getting or ellipsoid. I don't know here. This is oh, maybe this is exactly the effect you wanted. Not even sure if having all have the same shape would help. Yeah, I'll try doing a project from view UV and then just have the gems increase in size. A little more work, but this is fine. The neck is nicely modeled. I have the slight impression that her chin is too small. Maybe a bigger chin, but I'm not sure. It's not clear either word. So to recap, the always important glow point for the eyes to give life to the character, addition for the nose, the thicker upper lips, the cloth texture, the burlap texture, the curve, the natural curve of the hand, and the always moving sands of time make more sense. Right, so thank you Katrina for your submission. Next one is by Yeet, and all he says is Ghost White. Sorry. So I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what this is or what it is trying to be. Maybe this is an app or a circuit board. I am really confused by what this is. So I can't tell what it is, I can't tell what it's trying to be. What it's getting wrong or right. I can't really give feedback on this. Is Ghost White something? Hold on. Ghost White is either color or there is a shade of white. I can't see any references for this, so I have no idea if it's something. So Scarmit, yeah. So sorry, I can't really judge this. Yeah, I can't even say if it's good or bad. It's just something. Sorry, but thank you for your submission. Next one is from Kevin Lottingale, and this is really good. It's on ArtStation 2, so let's go here. Domino's Rex encounter, and he made several layers for the composition, joining them up. So this is outside the car, what he's seeing. The background, just have the trees over there, barely see. And then the car. This is a solid view with everything combined. So very nice render flow over here, and the final result is very pretty. gotta say. So a couple of things. The light isn't really shining directly into the Indominus Rex eyes, but I would really have liked to see some glow here. Very scary eye glowing there. That would have had a nice effect. The hairs on the arm, they seem kind of randomly distributed. Like here you only have one here. Try lumping the hair a little more. Sense. Texture is great, pose is great, light is awesome, vegetation is really good. You can barely tell those are duplicates. Those tree branches helped a lot. There's even a vine here. I don't know what this is here on the door. Maybe this is another type of vehicle. Like it has all the important gauges on the middle instead of front of the driver, like here. So yeah, the car design, I'd say it's weird, but all the rest is great. So to recap, I recommend you adding glow to the eye in Indominus Rex. Make it really scary, very yellow, and maybe rethink the design of the car. Other than that, he also submitted this, I forget what it's called. It's also an art station. It's an Irish sword. He recreated a render from a sword he made in 2017. And you can see what the original was. So yeah, sucks. So the sword really reminds me of Witcher or Kingdom Come, and yeah, it seems historically accurate. The shield seems kind of bent. I don't know why it is so bent. Usually you have a very defined shape for a shield. In this case I think it is round, so you should have some sort of perfect circle. And it shouldn't be just a flat board like that, unless it is an actual board. Shields used to have curved. Yeah, round shields they were curved. So, curving the shield there. Vegetation is nice. You have a whole bunch of leaves here, but you're not showing any trees. There's a shadow there. But yeah, I would probably add some tree trunk over here. And maybe you could even use that to have some interesting shadows. Got a limestone, but it is kind of alone. Try clumping stones together. If it's just a single stone in somewhere, it looks kind of out of place, you know. And I think that's all I have to say. The sword looks great. The shield, although it doesn't have any curve, it's great. The texturing is very well done. Particle system for the vegetation too. So I recommend you adding a tree for the leaves that have fallen and died near the sword. Adding more limestones nearby so it doesn't seem out of place. And curving the shield on there. It doesn't have to be too curved, just a little bit to show you could actually use that as a shield and deflect attacks. Otherwise you can just stab the guy through the shield. It's made out of wood. So yeah, we also submitted this art here. It is of a homeless dude. Let's see. Very selective trash here. The trash can has the lid and then all the way outside. Soccer ball. Some kind of part, weird thingy, and the lamp. There's a guitar there. Stools, a barrel. And a very random light source there. Doesn't look like it is a lamp or anything, so what we have there. The guy doesn't seem that dirty. I don't know what this is. Maybe inside the jacket, my part. Perhaps some damage to his clothing, as well as some dirt. Help. Mattress would be a nice addition. Something he can take to sleep on. The lighting is good, although it doesn't make sense in your case. But the quality grading, nice. Bunch of noise on the wall. Maybe you use one of those AI denoiser something. That's why it looks kind of weird. Yeah. Kinda weird that there's no grass here. It's mostly dirt, and here there's a whole bunch of grass. But I don't think that's an issue per se. Yeah, besides the light source, there's nothing fundamentally wrong. Your scene looks good. Tell nice story with this. For the trash can, all the references I've ever seen from this type of trash can, we don't have them in Brazil, but they usually have a plastic black lid, not the wooden green one. Maybe in your country it's like that. So yeah. So I just recommend you add a lamppost with the light source or move it outside the scene, and add a mattress or something for that guy to sleep, just sitting there. And even a cardboard, a flat cardboard box to sit on. Also add some dirt to his clothing. He's too clean right now. So yeah, thank you Kevin for submissions. And lastly, we have a render by HP 2009. I think this was on a competition for Valentine's or something along those lines. The idea is good. It's like a got a cup of tea. Throat. The idea of a love drug, it's kind of good, and the implied feeling that it doesn't work or it can break your heart. It's good. I like it. So that part and that part I really like. This one was the only thing I couldn't quite get. It looks like an upside down cap. And if it is upside down, then the label shouldn't be on top. But I did some research and apparently that thing exists. Still doesn't make sense. I don't like that design, but okay, it exists. I was wrong. Only thing missing really is the arrow saying to which side you should turn it. Although you could imply it by you read it. I mean, no, it could be always read the same size. We're just adding some arrows. I would have preferred a more generic kind of cap like this one. This one I could always accept as a good design. But yeah, it's just, this is weird, especially for 4 in Deadpool. You're also missing the engraving, the indentations part on the side of the gap. You could just UV some height map of just some white black lines. That effect. Materials are good, position is good, light is good. Yeah, really good job. Oh, because this is broken, you should probably add some dust sparkles. I know it's kind of hard and annoying to do. You could just grab an image of dust or something and then color it pink. Should work. But yeah, it was a really nice render, and if I'm not mistaken, it did win the competition we had, the Discord server. Let me check. No, I don't. It was too far ago. No, I don't see it. Yeah, I think the theme was medical and another render, but yours was in second place for sure. Really, it's really good. So guys, that was all the time I had for today. I appreciate everyone that was watching and giving their opinion in chat. If you want to join the Blender Discord and participate, feedback on your renders, or maybe even join a competition for the chance of winning some add-ons as the reward, free to join, to do so in the link below the description. So guys, if you enjoyed and my feedback helped in any way, even if it wasn't a render. But yeah, have a great day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.